first because there's some bad that we need to chat about. But that defense, absolutely outstanding. 6 sacks, a couple of turnovers, big one from Hufanga punching that thing loose. Did he punch it loose or was it like helmet diving?
I think it was the helmet. Yeah.
He like kind of turns as he's diving, and then Brandon Jones there to scoop that thing up. The defense did its thing. And by the way, that's without Dre Greenlaw, who we thought was going to be a huge addition to this defense. But you said it earlier, and I'm going to give you credit for bringing it up, man. Justin Strnad looked pretty dang good.
Yeah, he did.
Inside linebacker.
He had a good game, man. Riley Moss had a good game. Luka Evans, the kid from the Denver Post, he said PFF had Riley Moss targeted 8 times.
Wow.
He allowed 3 catches for 21 yards. You're going to take that. 8 times? You're targeted 8 times? They were picking on Riley Moss, and Riley Moss wasn't letting it happen. So you appreciate that, and that it's rush and cover. The rush was there, obviously, with the 6 sacks, and then the coverage was there from Pat Surtain, from Riley Moss, from those safeties. It was a great defensive performance from this Broncos team.
And then the other fumble was McMillan, right? The sack, and then it's actually Barron. So a little inside corner action with the both of them. So, yeah, the defense was absolutely outstanding. Under 200 yards, all the penalties there, making life difficult for Cam Ward. And Cam Ward actually looked pretty dang good in some moments. I know that last drive, or was it their last drive, whenever back-to-back sacks and they lost like 418 yards on those plays. That was like, oh, he's a rookie kind of moment from this defense.
Right, but the defense picking on that rookie, and very few have been sacked more. In fact, only 3 have been sacked more in their first game as a rookie.
I didn't see that.
And it's 7. 7 is the number, and it's guys like Deshaun Kaiser and Aiden O'Connell,
the car guy, right? First time he wasn't he the expansion quarterback for the Texans?
Yeah, and they didn't block for him, basically. Yeah. So it happens very rarely, but it happened to Cam Ward because this Broncos defense is going to bring it. And we'll get more as the week goes on, but I do want a little alert ahead of time here on a Monday. Keep talking about how Daniel Jones is great until he faces the Broncos defense. Broncos are going to kick the crap out of the Colts. And listen, the Dolphins, I watched a bunch of good football yesterday, and the Dolphins. The Dolphins are terrible.
They're so bad.
They're a joke. Yeah. No, don't trade for Tyreek Hill. Yes, someone did suggest that to me on Twitter. You're not going to trade for Tyreek Hill. You got weapons. You got to use Troy Franklin. You got to use Marvin Mims. And yeah, they tried late, but that was a bad call from Sean Payton. I got to play. Save your play, Sean. Kick the damn field goal. But this team, this defense, they are playoff ready. Now they have to have the consistency throughout the season. They've started hot and finished it poorly like last year, or the year previous, they started slow, Miami game, and then finished really hot with all those turnovers. So have a full, consistent season from this defense. Keep everyone as healthy as you possibly can and go win games with your defense like they did yesterday.
By the way, I brought up Greenlaw coming back. We hadn't mentioned Malcolm Roach yet. News over the weekend that Malcolm is actually on IR. So he can't come back for a few weeks.
Right.
Now, luckily, they do have some depth in the interior defensive line, and we're hopeful, that's all I can be right now, that Justin Strnad can hold his own. As you saw it during training camp, pointed out to me, we both kept an eye on it, and then both pleasantly surprised with his performance on Sunday. But the sooner you get Dre Greenlaw back, the better.
Yeah, the better it is for this team. And, and the defensive line, notice Savion Jones didn't get a jersey. We talked about Jaleel McLaughlin being inactive and Tyler Bidet getting the jersey, but Savion Jones didn't get a jersey because they have so much talent on the defensive line.
And you're high on Savion Jones.
And I'm high on the future of that young man. But, yeah, you're just going to have to wait because this team's pretty stacked on that side and specifically on the defensive line. So we hope Malcolm Roach can get healthy as ever because he'll be a big part of what they do as run stuffers going forward and hopefully, through the playoffs.
And on the Greenlaw front, Sean did say this morning on his conference call that he will be back, quote, sooner than later, end quote. But he said that before.
Yeah.
With the same exact player.
Well, unless we're getting re-aggravations, Sean doesn't like talking about injuries. I'm not talking about it. He's like Jordan Hudson. What's her name? Jordan Hudson? Jordan something? Belichick's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
Jordan something or other. I'm not talking about it. That's Sean.
JordanSugarDaddy.com.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's Sean Payton, SugarDaddy.com, because he's not talking about it with injuries. So to give us that update, it's more... I think it's just lip service from Sean because I'll believe it when I see it with Dre Greenlaw. If Justin Strnad plays like this, I'm not saying they don't need Greenlaw. That's an all-pro when he's healthy. But damn it, he hasn't been healthy. So unless we're talking re-aggravations, Yeah, oh, hey, he'll be out there sooner rather than later. You're kicking the can, Sean. That's all you're doing, and I don't want to hear it. I want to see him out there balling out. Until we get that, yeah, I don't really need to hear much about Dre Greenlaw's going to be back. Yeah, and then he's back, and then he re-injures himself. And of these 4 players, they added 4 players with some injury history. Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, Evan Ingram, and J.K. Dobbins. Of those 4 players, I did the math. Hopefully it's still right. I think it's 68 games if you take 17 times 4, right? Am I right? Kevin, help me out. Help me out.
Much for me.
Anyway, I want 50 games between those 4 this season. So it's a 17-game season. You have 4 players. I want 50 games. You missed one with Dre.
Yep.
Okay. Now we'll see on Evan. We'll see what that does with the calf injury there. That was disappointing. But let's get this team healthy as possible and make that run.
Did Kevin? I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot here, but did Sean say anything about Evan? Nothing. No update there.
There's nothing there.
That's a weird thing to not ask about.
It's Sean being Sean, man. And of course, reporters probably already conditioned to he's not going to answer me. So why do I ask the question? I risk pissing off coach and then whatever.
Who cares if you piss off the coach? He pissed me off yesterday. So it's a two-way street, Sean. I'd love to get an update on Evan Ingram. We'll look for that a little bit later on. But all right, so are we kind of done with the good? It's the defense, right? That's it?
I thought Troy Franklin had some good looks there offensively. The running backs, R.J. Harvey. Thank you, R.J. Harvey. Thank you for that big run that started inside and then busted outside at the linebacker level. That's the perfect type of run. Now, Sean, now that you've seen that from that young man, give him more. Mm-hmm. Give him more. How long has Zach Bye been talking about there's no runs over 22 yards, and you had one?
I actually thought right when that happened, I'm like, Zach Bye is checking a box right now.
Yep.
Got his wish.
You didn't get the 100-yard rusher, but you could have if you had more emphasis on the ground game, and hell, it could have been JK just continually grinding that out. And the way that they did it late, the team knows they're going to run the ball because Tennessee knows they're trying to run out the clock, and they were still running effectively. What about early in the game when they think you're trying to do a little bit of everything? Sean getting too cute, getting a little too pass happy. Yeah, ground game bailed you out, Sean. Defense bailed you out, Sean. How about you don't get too cute with the passing game and let these backs do their thing?
The defense bailed them out, and the run game showed up when they got an opportunity. That's all it was.
Right.
The run game was, it's like Ryan Staub. Well, it's there, but you got to have an opportunity to use it and then see if they can capitalize. They absolutely did it. 70 yards for R.J. Harvey. I know 50 of it comes on one carry, but he only touched the ball 6 times.
Right.
He's got to get more carries.
Double that.
At least that.
Then what does he get? You know what I mean? Double it. Maybe there's 2 big plays. Like, whereas your passing game was struggling, Bo Nix was struggling. Now, I don't think Sean did him any favors, but we're not letting Bo off the hook today.
No,
why?
No.
Because we expect a sophomore jump, not a sophomore slump. And I think we've got the skins on the wall, as John Fox would say, to know that when we say something critical about Bo, it's not because we listened to Todd McShay and repeated a bunch of that nonsense. We're the biggest Bo show on the Denver airwaves. But damn it, when he's messing up, we're going to tell you about it. And he messed up yesterday. Why didn't you run the ball to help out your young quarterback?
And I like what you said earlier, because this is my take from today. You're right. I'm going to hold Bo Nix accountable. He was not good. But Sean Payton gets the brunt of the blame for me. His play calling, his games plan, the scheme was absolutely terrible. It was awful. Maybe one of the worst that I've seen. That decision to throw the ball on 4th and 8, I don't know that I've seen a worse decision from an NFL head coach that's not Nathaniel Hackett. And I'm being serious. That's Nathaniel Hackett level stuff. And Sean Payton got here and wanted to roast Hackett and rip on Hackett and call him the worst coaching staff and the worst team in the history of the NFL. You matched his stupidity yesterday, Sean, with a 4th and 8. Hail Mary play to Marvin Mims. And then the split, by the way, this is just coming to me. I believe you owe me a coffee. The run pass split.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I do owe you a coffee. I
just remembered that as I was looking at the box
I was thinking about
score.
that. I was driving in. I was like, I think I owe Dover a coffee, but I cannot remember what it's for. So I'll have your... You get the damn frou-frou drink, though.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
The caramel macchiato,
Boom,
right?
nailed it.
Okay, done. I'll have that for you tomorrow, my friend.
So I guess Sean did do one thing for me. A pass run split of 40-30, and 8 of those come off the feet of Bo Nix. So if we're going to just go RBs, it's 40-22. That is the most. So you go the most unbalanced you could possibly be, almost 2-to-1 ratio of pass to run. It started 8-to-1. Second drive, it was 14 passes to 3 runs. So it's almost a 2-to-1 ratio at the end of the game when you were certainly wanting to run the ball in the second half. You make the worst decision I've ever seen an NFL coach make, not name Nathaniel Hackett on a 4th and 8, and then you don't go to the podium and take any accountability for what you did with your game plan. Sean Payton, got to believe in Sean Payton, right? I have no other choice. And he is good for this team. But yesterday, he damn near cost them a game.
What could prevent you from having the success that you want to have? It's stuff like that. It's stuff like not understanding the game flow. You had a game plan. What was your game plan? Because your game plan should have included a lot more running the ball early on. Mm-hmm. And even our YouTube chat, Touchdown Bo Nix, saying like, hey, everyone except running backs of the defense had a bad day. And I'd say Troy Franklin, and then Court with that touchdown. So it's close that. And then also Chris B chimes in. Kevin hasn't talked today. Where he at?
Kevin?
I was told not to crack my mic.
You're being censored today?
I'm being censored like
Yes.
the mainstream media.
So you're doing a lot of homework back there.
Tomorrow, you're going to reveal your homework studies.
The biggest thing is I don't think Bo had as bad of a game as a lot of people think.
Bo had a bad game.
He didn't have a good game.
It wasn't.
Bo had a
It
bad
was
game.
not great. I think Sean. A lot could go on Sean.
We did
Oh,
a
I'm with
YouTube
you on
poll
that.
earlier.
Yeah, I'm with you on that,
73% blame Sean Payton. So 73% of the blame's on Sean Payton, but Bo is not without blame.
Am I overreacting when I say Bo will not be developed? This team will not be a threat to the postseason unless Sean Payton gets over himself. If we get this version of Sean Payton moving forward, or there's 18 weeks and you get 8-9 weeks of that version of Sean Payton, this team's not going to the playoffs, dude.
Yeah, it was not a good look. That's for sure. Not a good look at all.
With that schedule and that ego, that's a formula for disaster unless Sean can get over himself. And that's I had the big fear going in that this is exactly what it would look like. I turned out to be right, and now my big fear is that it's not going to get fixed because, Cecil, you're down there more than me. You tell me, man, who tells Sean Payton he's wrong? And then if that person tells Sean Payton he's wrong, are they escorted out of the building? Or is there a real conversation behind? Man to man, right? We do this radio show together. We both have the same goals and we're both cut from the same cloth.
Right.
You come to me and say, we have to have a real conversation. And my answer is, yeah, but you're wrong. This is not a good relationship.
The nice thing is about Sean, and this is my belief, if someone would ball up and tell him, someone's got to nut up and tell him. And I think it's probably Davis Webb or Bo. It's one of
I
those
like
two.
that
It's
it's
not
Bo.
Joe Lombardi. Maybe Pete Carmichael because that's his boy. But here's how you become Sean Payton's guy. Do you know how you do it?
How?
And I've had some experience, although in a press conference situation. If you just, Sean knows you're going to be there and knows you're going to tell the truth. You don't go into a hole. Like Sean Payton and I have had a back and forth at press conferences, right? The Lucas Kroll thing.
Yeah.
If I just disappeared, Sean wouldn't respect me, right? Well, as a coach, you have to just hey, I think this, coach, and Sean will respect you. Sean looks for outside opinions. He actually does. Now, whether or not he listens to them, and in-game, there's a different thing. In-game, Jay Glazer had said it when Jay Glazer's a little weird with Sean Payton. That's just my personal opinion.
I spent some time with him at the Super Bowl. He's a lot weird.
He's a lot weird, okay. But when he's like, yeah, Sean Payton will fire you 6 times in a game. Okay. Was someone going to fire him 6 times in a game? So Sean will listen to you. Sean will respect you if you give pushback with reasons. So I think Davis Webb could go to him with pushback with reasons. I think that Pete Carmichael could. I don't really think Joe Lombardi would. But Sean will actually respect you if you do that and you got stuff to back it up. So I'm sure there's some heated conversations at Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit, in going over this game film.
Well, you said it with Davis Webb. I think Davis Webb and Bo are the answers. I think first it's Bo, because he's certainly not going anywhere. Sean needs Bo just about as much as Bo needs Sean. Mm-hmm. And then Davis Webb, all right, could he take some power away from him? Maybe, slap him on the wrist and put him in timeout? Perhaps. But I don't think Sean would do that because he knows how much Davis means to Bo as well.
Right.
And then there's also this that Davis really doesn't need Sean to get another job. That Davis is getting another job.
Davis could do the Andy Reid thing and skip being a coordinator and just go be a head coach.
And he doesn't need Sean's approval, recommendation, any of that stuff. The league knows who Davis Webb is. So I think those are the two names. If I had to pick one, I'd want it to be Bo. You talked about it earlier. He got back at Sean. Was it the first quarter saying, let's go. He's talking about getting the play call,
get the
the
damn play
operation.
in.
Let's get in and get going here. I think, one, we know Sean. He'd like that it were Bo. And two, I think it could bring it to more of a, right now it's still teacher way up here. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm all the way up, right? Teacher is Sean Payton right here. Bo was at the bottom of that barrel. He's maybe halfway through now.
Sure.
You go check Sean Payton like that, I think that's going to tell Sean, like, all right, this dude's got it, recognizing. And by the way, it's not a quarterback going like, dude, we got to throw it more. It's a quarterback going like, yo, we have to run it
They're
more.
not biting on play action fakes when you don't run the ball. And Bo's going to be very aware of that because he's the one getting the pressure.
It would carry so much weight if it were Bo
and
Nix.
Sean wants that.
But is Bo there right now?
Yeah.
We both talked about this. We hadn't brought it on air yet. Bo showed some real emotion yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that we hadn't really seen. I know the Raiders game and then barking back at Sean. He's got the old crazy eyes to that Raiders dude. And that was all fun. But he's telling Sean, let's go. He's telling Lucas Kroll, stop. And he's right.
Yes.
Lucas should have stopped. And then he's getting into a back and forth with Jeffrey Simmons where he had to be pulled back. Was it Quinn Miners, I think, was pulling him back?
Right.
Like, that's not Bo. I like some part of that, and if he were to take that to Sean, I'd really, really appreciate that. But you and I speculated of like how much emotion was going through Bo yesterday through the course of that game.
It was a little bit too much,
Yeah,
honestly.
I think so too.
You save that, and you look at Peyton Manning. Kev, who was that Texans defender that Peyton Manning went after? Remember in that game, and then the Texans defender hit?
DJ Swearinger?
Yeah, and so when Manning went down there, you're like, oh my God, he just got in DJ Swearinger's face. But Peyton would let his play talk because he'd just kill you and throw for 7 touchdowns.
On you.
Exactly. But then when he needed to talk, he did. I thought Bo, that emotion, it got the mix, it mixed him up a little bit. So maybe a little bit more sedate, let your play do the talking, but then go talk to your coach. Sean Payton wants that. He didn't like when he got in Russell Wilson's face and Wilson just sat there with a blank stare. By the way, Brian Daboll saying he's not committing to Russell Wilson in week 2 as the starter.
Oh, weird.
I know, shocker,
That's so
right?
weird.
Giants fans turning on Russell Wilson after one game. Okay, that's weird. Well, guess what? I look at it and I go, you know what? He wants that. He wants Bo Nix to kind of bow up a little bit and take issues with what he said and what he's done. That's the way you get it done. That's a healthy relationship's going to have that back and forth. If you're singing Kumbaya all the time, or what's worse is you're letting the other one just run the show, that's not a relationship. That's not a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship is a back and forth, and it's point, counterpoint. It's tit for tat. It's that sort of thing, and that's what I believe Bo does have that relationship with Sean, and I'm sure Bo's saying some stuff like, why weren't we doing this? Why weren't we doing this? Why'd the game plan include that? Because there's a lot of stuff Sean Payton was trying that did not work.
Yeah, it was rough to watch for most parts of that game, mostly on the offensive side. All right, Cecil, so we know Bo, the platform stuff, trusting his arm way too much. Is that as simple as, hey, today we're watching the film, Sean's dog cussing the heck out of him, blaming everything on other people and not taking accountability? Is this all like, hey, get back to planting your feet? That second interception, I tweeted it. They just plant that and throw. He was a little bit late, but if you're planting it instead of throwing against your body, jumping the wrong way, you're going to have a little bit more zip on the ball. You have to get to that progression faster.
Right.
But the fact that he threw it without a platform, that's a big part of the interception too. So is it as simple as getting dog cussed during film study and Bo gets back on track, or what does he have to do to get better?
Well, I thought Bo mechanically was where he needed to be on most plays. Like, I didn't want the off-platform when he did need to be. And then he can throw off-platform. He does it well, and he did that, including rolling to the left. So there was a couple of things where I thought the Broncos and even Bo themselves were getting a little bit too cute. Certainly think Sean Payton was getting too cute out there. But the whole thing about Bo, like he only throws running to his right. And then early on, you saw all these throws where he's running to his left. I'm like, okay. All right, I know what Jeffrey Simmons said. He's going to make one read and run, and then there's like an emphasis of like, don't do it. Just make a play. Who cares what anybody says? Go out there and play in the way that you can play. We saw a very un-Bo Nix-like game. Man, I got to slow down when I say that. it was not Bo. That didn't look like the Bo that we knew from the end of last year. That looked like early season Bo as a rookie. So work out the kinks, get it better, have that conversation with Sean, but come out and look much, much sharper and make quicker decisions, even if that decision is take off to run.
Let's put a percentage on this. How much blame are you putting on Sean Payton versus how much blame you're putting on Bo Nix? I think I'm probably at 60-40 Sean. You might be able to talk me into 65-35 Sean.
Yeah, I would say it's probably 65-35. We did a poll earlier on YouTube, and it was 70-30, essentially.
See? That might be closer to what it was.
Yeah, and that's pretty close to what it was. Bo Nix has to execute what Sean Payton is calling, and Bo Nix struggled to do that. But Sean Payton was not calling a good game. He didn't call a good game. Bo didn't play good, and Sean didn't call a good game. And that's what happened. They played Tennessee. The defense showed up. And that's why you get this win. So it's a win, but it's a win with learning points, teachable moments from this game. And teachable for Sean, who if you gave him the pushback, I believe he would listen. Now, maybe it's his ego and he's the smartest guy ever or whatever, but I believe that Sean would listen if somebody, Davis Webb, Bo, somebody.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be the right person.
Yes, says, hey, what are we doing that for?
I hope somebody's asking that. I hope it's just not this dictatorship and what Sean says goes, but certainly feels like that after week 1. And again, they won. We're fired up about the win. I love what you said today, Cease, to start the show. We're going to look back in December and go, damn, thank goodness they got that win against Tennessee. Who knows what we'd be looking at right now as far as playoff seeding if they can get there.
Right.
Could be. So they handled their business.